So that she wouldn't teach Mallow how to access her treats.
Meanwhile, Mallow's like, I taught you.
Yeah, Mallow's like, I will figure it out regardless. I'm not as lazy as you dumb bitch.
That is how sisters talk to each other. That's correct.
That is exactly how our girls talk to each other.
My sister literally texted me this morning, remember that time you did a dumb thing?
Yeah, my sister will just send me pictures of us looking like a mob family. Which I will not post on socials because she doesn't consent to that. And I don't want to have to tell my sister that we have a podcast.
This is a new episode of that podcast.
This is soon to be a Major Motion podcast. It's like a book club, except I can't read. We are your hosts.
Who are you, Leah Michelle?
Oh, rude. Well, we have a listener of the show who can't read that we could have roasted, but you went after famed TV star and Broadway legend Leah Michelle.
I prefer to punch up.
Just made him sad.
Oh no, that was an insult, wasn't it?
Way to go. Do you want to retract that?
Nope, I will not retract it.
All right.
Although Leah Michelle is still punching up. She's more famous than we are.
Yeah, that's true. You can't dispute that. Who are we, by the way?
We are the hosts of your show. I'm Codie Beck.
And I am Billy Beck.
I just shot right over your intro. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I was trying a new one out. I think I like the old one better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run out of illiterate celebrities soon enough.
It's true. We've got Leah Michelle. We've got the Gerber baby. We've got Wishbone, the guy who played Wishbone. The dog, yes.
So how was your week?
How was my week?
Yeah.
I just spit on my computer.
We are falling apart tonight.
Ooh, this is a little pod after dark. Normally we record this after work on a Thursday, and haven't been enjoying some substances and cocktails for 4 hours now. But we're recording this one on a Saturday, so it's a little after dark.
Yeah, that's on me. Spoilers, I did not like this book.
So you refused to read it for 3 whole days.
No, I was not finished with it Thursday night because every time I picked it up, I felt like I wanted to gouge my eyes out instead of continuing to read.
But normally you would, just gut it out and read it while you're at work. Is there a reason why you couldn't read this one at work, Codie?
Yeah, so I applied for a new position a couple of weeks ago, and I got the position. I'm going to be moving from my current role into the role of business program specialist for our cannabis division.
Hell yeah.
So, starting...
My wife's a weed banker.
So, starting May 1st, I will be leaving the DMV position, so I am currently desperately training the poor conscript who got taken in my place. So, I do not have as much free time during the day.
Your normal 6.5 hours of downtime during your shift.
Yeah.
I know you're slow when I start getting TikTok notifications at 9 in the morning.
Listen...
I'm like, bitch, I haven't even checked my emails yet. And she's like, I'm fucking done.
So a little bit of background. I've been in this position since 2021, and it was originally just DMV, and then slowly, as I got bored with DMV, other stuff got added to it, and so now I just get to present this horrible hodgepodge to the guy who's replacing me temporarily, and just be like, here you go!
That poor man.
Yeah.
Poor man.
So that was my week. How was your week?
So, I was in Chicago last weekend to hang out with actual friends of the pod, the guys over at Shades of Blue. If you're a soccer fan, regardless of what team you support, Shades of Blue podcast is great. They're expanding their network from their current Manchester City podcast to include pro wrestling podcast, MLS podcast, I think a Man United specific podcast. I know. I don't like it either, but they can cut them off when they need to cut them off.
I guess red is a shade of blue.
It is not. So they had their Live and Lit Chicago last weekend on, 420 for no reason. Just happened to be that way. So I flew out there with a couple others, and we met up and watched City beat Chelsea and went to a Chicago Fire game that we all left, some of us before the opening whistle, because, Soldier Field is cold. It is very cold at night. I was only really in town for like 36 hours, so I didn't even get to try what they call pizza. I barely saw any sights, although one of the really tall buildings in Chicago was a block away from my hotel, and I could see it from my window, which was really neat. I do love me a tall-ass building.
We don't live in a proper city.
No.
We live in 10 small cities crammed into a trench coat.
Actually, yeah. But, no, Chicago was great. I had a great time. It was just nice to meet people I've seen on Twitter and making new relationships and friends and building a network. It was a very cool weekend.
It was nice to have you out of the house for 36 hours.
Well, for you, it was closer to 48. Flights take time.
This is true.
Joke's on you. I can't escape me.
Is that not one of the themes of...
Well, we'll get there. We still have some responses to our thing last week, which was the high school mixtape.
Okay.
So from our good friend of the pod, Mark, he gave us 5 songs that he listened to a lot in high school. The Good Ship Lifestyle by Chumbawamba. Tears by Rush. Happiness is a Warm Gun by the Beatles. Less Talk, More Rock by Freeze Pop. And I Can't Hide From My Mind by They Might Be Giants.
So did he go to high school in 1965, or...
I mean, Chumbawamba's very 90s. They Might Be Giants is 80s? He is like 74 years old. Like, he was born an old man, so...
That is, all jokes aside, that is a pretty solid list.
It's not bad. So what we're going to do, by the time you're hearing this, and I'll put it in the description of the pod eventually, but I'm going to actually put this playlist together on Spotify and make it publicly available so people can hear it. So if you want to add to the list over time, let me know. And I'll be happy to add to this playlist.
Wild whiplash from all of the different flavors.
Just weird swings of emotion and teenage angst in a little playlist. It'll be fun.
That is a very charming idea, and I enjoy it.
Thank you. I take full credit for that idea. Mark didn't also come up with it unrelated to me. It was all my idea.
Speaking of going to high school in the 60s?
Yeah, speaking of going to high school in the 60s, there we go. That's a segue. What are we talking about this week?
So we are talking about the seminal piece of literature, and I am using seminal in the literal sense, the same way I did with Ready Player One.
Seminal, parentheses, derogatory.
Shoeless Joe by W.P. Kinsella.
I've never heard of a movie called Shoeless Joe. If you give me like 2 sentences of what the book is about.
a gentleman hears a voice that tells him to turn his cornfield into a baseball stadium.
Wow, that sounds an awful lot like Phil Alden Robinson's Field of Dreams. Is it possible?
Coincidentally, if you look at the book Shoeless Joe, all of the variations of it, including the audiobook and several different variations of the cover that I saw for the physical and ebook, all say filmed as Field of Dreams.
Well, since they made a movie out of it, let me watch it real quick while I am watching the movie. We're going to listen to a trailer.
I have just created something totally illogical.
That's what I like about it.
If you build it, he will come. If you build it, he will come.
If you build what, who will come?
You didn't say.
I hate it when that happens.
Me too.
Who's hearing voices?
Ray is. I think I know what "if you build it, he will come" means.
Ooh, why do I not think this is such a good thing?
Daddy, there's a man out there on your lawn. Are you a ghost?
What do you think?
You look real to me.
Hi!
You couldn't see it.
This is really interesting.
You believed in the magic. It happened. Isn't that enough?
Annie, it's more than that. I feel it as strongly as I've ever felt anything in my life. There's a reason.
Go the distance.
Did you hear the voice too? Did you hear it?
Go the distance.
Yes.
Our grave is dead. He died in 1972.
Are you Moonlight Graham?
No one's called me Moonlight Graham in 50 years.
Unbelievable.
It's more than that. It's perfect.
You build a baseball field in the middle of nowhere, and you sit here and you stare at nothing.
This field, this game, it's a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good.
Hey, is this heaven? No. It's Iowa.
Kevin Costner, Amy Madigan, James Earl Jones, Ray Liotta, Burt Lancaster. Sometimes, when you believe the impossible, the incredible comes true. Field of Dreams.
That bears a passing resemblance to the book that I read.
Okay, so I think we're in the right place here for our podcast about film adaptations of books. Field of Dreams, 1989, based on the novel Shoeless Joe by W.P. Kinsella. Ray Kinsella, no relation, is a former hippie / current farmer growing corn in a field in Iowa. After hearing a voice say, "If you build it, he will come," Ray sacrifices his family's only source of income to build a baseball field next to his house. Soon after, Shoeless Joe Jackson and the rest of the 1919 Chicago Black Sox show up to play baseball. The voice returns, leading Ray to drive to Boston, kidnap an author, take him to Fenway for a game, then to Minnesota to harass the friends of a deceased doctor / former ballplayer, and finally back to Iowa with a hitchhiking ghost. Ray's evil brother-in-law is about to evict him from the farm when he starts also seeing the ghosts. And the film ends with the author walking into baseball hell and Ray playing catch with his dead dad while thousands of cars show up to wreck the local economy. That about sum it up?
The book's a little different, but yeah.
The book's always a little different.
It's pretty different.
You never let me have my paragraph of fun.
Your paragraph of fun is delightful.
But it's always different. One of these times I'm gonna nail it, like word for word.
Yeah, it's called Holes by Louis Sacker.
Fantastic, Mr. Fox. I just have the entirety of the text of the novel in my little paragraph.
So one of the things that's really interesting, that is one of the major differences, is that Ray in the novel immediately knows exactly what the voice wants him to do every time it talks to him.
Yeah, there's always a scene in the movie where he has to talk it over with his wife, which, as a wife guy myself, I appreciate the representation in film. I love to run everything by my wife before I perform any action.
So we're gonna table that for a second because I have some complaints.
Are we gonna save that for therapy, or
is this not therapy?
Shh, it's fine.
So we're gonna table the wife for a second.
Okay.
But the book overall feels more like it leans harder into the magical realism, because there's like at the end, it's not clear whether cars are actually appearing or if they are also phantoms, but the money is real.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, his twin brother has a carnival wife, and her name is Gypsy.
They cut a carny wife out of the movie?
Yes.
Oh, I love carnies.
So her name is Gypsy, so I will be using that term. She and Ray's twin brother Richard are part of a carnival that is basically a traveling oddities attraction. That's what they run. And it is the world's strangest babies, and it's photographs of all of the world's most deformed and horrific fetuses.
Yes, wholesome family entertainment.
Yeah, the way that Gypsy explains it when they first meet her, when Ray first meets her, is basically there's no overhead. It's like they charge 75 cents to enter, and because all of their exhibits are photographs, there's basically no overhead. So she's like, it's great. It can be as trashy as we want it to be. So throughout the book, he gets a total of, I believe, there are a total of 5 messages, 4 of which are delivered to him, 1 of which is delivered to J.D. Salinger, who is the author in the book.
Famed reclusive author J.D. Salinger?
Yes.
I wonder why they changed it for the movie. Let me see if I took a note on that when I did my notes 3 days ago and no longer remember them. I did not take an exact note, but if I recall correctly, the Salinger estate / Salinger himself read the book and said, absolutely not, never again, no. You are not portraying me in this fashion in any media ever again. And they were like, okay. And they made up retired civil rights author Terrence Mann. And they actually... The way they did the exposition for that character was done so well that people left the theater believing he was a real person.
I thought he may have been a pastiche of a playwright, but it turns out I was just thinking of a different playwright.
Yes.
Who had a similar name.
Yes, you were. But no, I do like that change for the film.
I agree. I told you when I revealed that it was J.D. Salinger, I told you that it was smart because they basically used a famous name that was known to be a recluse and had been for a while at the time of publishing, so they could basically make up whatever personality I keep saying they, so the author could make up whatever personality he needed to for that would fit this character, because no one had seen them, so no one could say yes or no.
Yeah.
Which is, it's pretty clever.
And it's also the impetus for my theory that W.P. Kinsella is J.D. Salinger.
If W.P. Kinsella was J.D. Salinger, why would they not allow Salinger to appear in the movie?
Because then it would be too real. Because then he would want to play himself, and everyone would figure it out.
There is a picture of W.P. Kinsella. He is a real man who is not J.D. Salinger.
I'm just saying, you've never seen them both in the same room at the same time.
Because one of them is dead! Actually, both of them may be dead. I don't know if Kinsella's still alive.
Again, have you never seen them in the same room at the same time? Just saying.
So...
Anyway, before I derailed us.
Every time that he gets a message from the voice, he describes it as being like basically Joan of Arc, divine intervention. He knows exactly what it wants him to do. So the first time when it says, if you build it, he will come, he's like, oh, I need to build a baseball field in this exact portion of my cornfield on my acre of farmland because I need to create a left field for Shoeless Joe Jackson to play on. Mm-hmm. Another difference from the movie to the book is that he starts by building just the left field, and he takes 3 years to get it perfect.
Yeah, the whole movie takes place over the course of maybe a year.
The book, it's not super clear how long they stay places when he leaves Iowa, but I'm pretty sure that the span of the book is about 5 years. Because Karen is 3 years old the first time, or no, she is 3 years old when he starts building the stadium, and by the time she first sees Shoeless Joe Jackson, she is, I believe, already in, like, kindergarten.
So, I have a little headcanon about Karen. A little head Karen, if you will. The whole time he's building the field in the movie, it's a nice montage. He's riding on the tractor, she's sitting on his lap, and he's telling her about, like, Shoeless Joe Jackson's batting record and how during the 1919 World Series you can't prove that, like you can prove that he took the money, but you can't prove that he tried to throw the game because he had no errors. He hit 3 home runs and all this stuff. And then when Shoeless Joe Jackson finally shows up, she just says, "Daddy, there's a man on your lawn." You have not been paying attention this whole time, child. He's telling you the history of baseball and you call it a lawn? Disrespectful. Disrespectful. But anyway.
Yeah. So, since we're talking about Karen, Annie is his wife, and Karen is his daughter. Mm-hmm. And the language that the author uses to describe both Karen and Annie is the same. It was part of the reason that I could not stand this book, is that the descriptions that are given for both Karen and Annie are the same type of descriptions that you would give to a particularly interesting or well-trained dog. It's gross, and they get very little... You get a lot of Ray's inner world, obviously because it's from his point of view.
Is it first person or third limited?
It is first person.
Okay.
It's first person. He uses I. And it's just really gross and scummy every time he talks about Annie. Most of the time when he's talking about Annie, he's talking about her hair. He's talking about her mouth or her tongue. Or he's talking about her thighs. Every time he describes her, it is in relation to those parts of her body. Like, oh, her thigh was pressed up against mine. Or he describes, like, her descending to sit next to him in the bleachers as being, like, she pressed her denim leg up against mine. Or whatever. It's just, those are the primary parts.
Just really objectifying.
Yeah. And, like, the very first time that you meet her, you as the audience meet her, he's describing her... He's describing her waking up, and he describes her basically from head to toe, and it's literally the breasted boobily fucking Tumblr meme.
Gross.
Yeah. And it's also like she has a lot less, it seems like she has a lot less character in the novel than she does in the movie, even just based on the trailer.
Do they do the scene about banning books in the book?
No.
So there's a scene, and this is a very good change based on what you're telling me about this character. They gave her so much personality because she was cast. They cast Amy Madigan to play Annie, who I wouldn't say was like an A-list attractive actress at the time. Not that she's not attractive, but she's, at least how she's portrayed in this, like very like down to earth in regards to physical appearance. But her personality is what shines throughout the film. Just her supportingness and she's got a fire in her, which is in the scene where they're at a PTA meeting for the school, and this lady wants to ban a Terrence Mann book. And this is where we get kind of the history of this character. And she stands up and gives this fiery speech about what being American is and how it's freedom of speech, even if you don't agree with the views. And it's like actually like a kind of like a modern poignant scene. And it's this little Amy Madigan standing up and giving it. And you could tell like Costner's a little uncomfortable, Ray's a little uncomfortable, but like she's still got that spirit of the 60s in her, and it shows, even though they're in conservative-ass Iowa. It's a great scene.
So, that's another thing that's interesting. He goes to college in Iowa, and that's where he meets Annie. Annie is from Iowa, born and raised, never leaves.
She's from Iowa in the film as well, but they meet at Berkeley. And they're participating in the 60s. Like, when he's driving around the country later with Terrence Mann, he's doing it in a 60s Volkswagen van. It's a
Datsun in the novel.
Yeah. Oh, I loved, like, the 60s element to it.
That feels like a considered change that I appreciate. Yeah, this was very, like... Now, the book predates the movie by about 7 years. Book was published in 1982. And I believe it's... contemporary with the time it was published.
Yeah.
So completely lost my train of thought.
Well, where I was going to go with it is it adds another layer of generational nostalgia, which is a huge focal point of the movie. His father, as we learn, is nostalgic for a very specific period of baseball, specifically the 1919 Chicago White Sox in that era. He's nostalgic for the 60s and like that free roaming peace and love energy and vibe, even though now he's just a corn farmer. And he's trying to share his dad's nostalgia with his daughter, and his mom is like also sharing her nostalgia with their daughter because of the PTA incident and all that stuff. So it's that kind of it's an extra layer to that element of the story, adding that 60s Berkeley.
So I think it would be fair to say that this narrative is haunted literally and figuratively. So you've got the literal ghosts that are appearing in the field.
Wait, there's ghosts in this movie?
I'm gonna get a spray bottle and just hate you so much. It really feels like the character is having a midlife crisis and kind of just coming to terms with the ghosts of his past and the literal ghosts of his present. And like in a more abstract way, it's also kind of the decisions you made and the things that could have turned out differently if he would have made different choices. And that's kind of, to me, that feels like that's the theme and the heart of the novel, is like facing the ghosts.
Mm-hmm. Like the ghosts of regret and that kind of thing too.
Because like the whole point of this, the Field of Dreams, the whole point of creating the stadium is so he can see the 1919 White Sox untainted by that scandal.
Yeah. But also like, it's not just for them, because there is the Archie Graham story, the Moonlight Graham bit.
There's an entire section with another player that's cut out of the movie.
Yeah. And I really latched on to the Moonlight Graham storyline in the film this time. His story, if you don't know, he's actually based off a real professional baseball player who only played a half an inning, I think, for the Cubs, or a full inning for the... No, it wasn't the Cubs, it was the New York Giants, as they were. He played, in real life, it was in the middle of the season. In the movie, it was the last game of the season. He played the 9th inning, stood in the outfield for his defensive half of the inning. Ball never got to him. Sat on the bench for the offensive half. Never made it to the plate. Never had another shot in the majors. And when he meets the ghost of Doc Graham, as he is in old age, he retires, and this is true to real life. He does retire and move to Chisholm, Minnesota, and becomes a doctor. And in the movie, when they're reading bits of his obituary, that's his actual obituary from when he actually died that they're reading from. They only changed very minor things about his history in this film. But when he meets the ghost of Doc Graham before he picks up a young Moonlight Graham to hitchhike down, Doc tells him that his one wish was to have an at-bat so that he could, because what he always wanted to try is wink at the pitcher right before he pitches to try and throw him off. And then he wants to stretch a double into a triple and hug the third base and all that. And he gets to live his dream in the titular Field of Dreams. He has his at-bat, he winks at the pitcher to see what happens, and the pitcher throws it at him. Nearly kills him again. He ends up hitting a sac fly and runs a batter home, but he doesn't get to, steal third. And then this is the scene where Karen almost chokes to death, and he steps out of the boundaries of the field and becomes old man Doc Graham again to save the child, and then fades into the distance with no regrets. And it's such a powerful arc for a minor character in a movie like this, considering my history in this industry, how I've gotten close. I've gotten a sniff. We were talking about it today because I just watched a documentary called The Price of Glee, which is about the TV show Glee. Before Corey Monteith died, the year before, I auditioned to be on Glee. And according to my management at the time, I got pretty close. And then watching that documentary and seeing what happened to so many cast members and just the mayhem that was that set, I'm like, okay, I got the sniff of it. I'm glad it didn't happen at this point in my life because I wouldn't be where I am today. And it really hit me on that level, on that realistic level, this time watching the movie.
So we've referenced it a couple times, but I feel like it might be helpful to kind of lay out a little bit of what happened. So you keep saying specifically the 1919 White Sox.
Oh, yeah.
I was not super familiar with this. As I told you, I thought the Black Sox were a team that had been, disintegrated or something. I didn't realize it was a scandal.
I think there actually were multiple, Sox teams back in the day. So, continue. I will Google to see if there was a Black Sox.
So, the 1919 World Series was the White Sox versus... Do you know who it was against?
I believe it was the Cincinnati Reds.
A lot of colors. A lot of colors in baseball.
Yeah, because you got the Reds, you've got the Red Sox. You've got the White Sox.
So you understand why I thought there could have, in theory, been a Black Sox team. So the 1919 World Series, the White Sox were in it, and they lost. And it came out late. I don't know what time frame. I'm not super familiar with it. But it came out that there were 8 players that were convicted or something. They conspired to throw the series to... They were bribed, basically.
They took money from gamblers to throw the series. And I believe all of them, except for Shoeless Joe Jackson, admitted to it at some point.
I believe so, yeah.
Joe Jackson, if I recall correctly, took money, but as is stated in the movie, in that scene, he never had an error during the series. He hit multiple home runs during the series. I think he had the highest batting average in the series, something like that. He played every game to win every game. And he's sort of become a mythical character in baseball history because of that. Because he just loved the game so much. He was willing to face gamblers and take their money and still not throw the game. Still try to win the game. We will go more in depth into the Black Sox scandal around the World Series time this year. Because 8 Men Out is based on a book, and I love that movie, and it is just that story. So we will go back to baseball.
So listen to this again in 9 months.
If you're listening to this after November 2024, you can pause it right here. Go check out our 8 Men Out episode, and then come back, and everything will make some more sense.
So that is why we keep referencing this. And those 8 players were permanently banned from competing in any level or just Major League?
Any professional baseball. They were banned from baseball by the commissioner of Major League Baseball, which is a role I believe was created as a result of the scandal, as a way of like, we need to basically figure out how to keep the sport, the integrity of the sport in check. But of course, the commissioner was kind of in the pockets of all the owners. The reason they took the money is because they were denied bonuses that they were promised for getting to the World Series. Because their owner, who was it? No, it wasn't Wrigley. He owned the Cubs.
I don't know.
No, I think he was a big name, but I don't recall. Their owner was just a rich asshole in an era of rich assholes.
So yes, that was a little bit of context for why the 1919 White Sox were so important.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's ever really made clear with regards to Kinsella, his father, why his father was so fascinated and obsessed with the White Sox. Because, like, he talks about how he would go to Chicago, so why wasn't he a Cubs fan? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's one of those, like, there's a lot of mythical things in baseball. Because of the way that the sport is, it's a slow enough sport that a detailed description of what happens in the game is almost as good as watching a game itself. So in an era where games weren't filmed, we still know exactly what happened from first pitch to final out. And it was widely said, I believe, at the time that those players could have easily won that World Series. They were one of the best teams in baseball, if not the best team in baseball of that era. And because of a spat over money with ownership, they threw the World Series and got kicked out of the game. So there's like a what if with all of those players, especially Joe Jackson, because of the kind of player he was. I think he batted lefty but threw righty, like just a really dynamic, fascinating player. And there's just that what if they were allowed to continue playing. And it's become such a thing in a sport that is built around its own mythology that as late as, I think, 2015, the commissioner had to come out and say, we will not be reopening the case as to Shoeless Joe Jackson's lifetime ban into baseball. Long after he's passed. They're like, no, but reinstate him, though. Come on. We know it's okay. And, no, we're not going to look at it again. Come on. We've got ESPN Bet is sponsoring games.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, when sports betting has basically just been made legal and is being fucking aggressively targeted towards young sports fans.
Oh my god, yeah. Like
anyone who has any sort of ban due to betting should be fucking just, nope, you're good. You can go back now.
Oh, the bans still happen for betting. Like in soccer especially, because that's the sport I follow more. But there was just in basketball a player got a lifetime ban for betting. And basketball, like, I can't watch a game without getting 30 ads for...
And then there's... In baseball, you have that whole deal with Shohei Ohtani right now.
Oh, yeah, with his interpreter got in with an illegal bettor. And he claims he never bet on baseball because he knows that if he does admit to betting on baseball, I don't know whether or not he did, but it could cost Ohtani his career. Because that precedent's been set. That's a lifetime ban if you bet on baseball.
And like
it's why Pete Rose isn't in the Hall of Fame. Because he bet on baseball.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in the WWE Hall of Fame, but that's as close as he's going to get.
So, I'm going to be so honest right now. My family has been to Cooperstown multiple times. We've been to the Baseball Hall of Fame multiple times. We used to go to the Orioles games multiple times a year. I think baseball is deeply boring unless you are like at a minor league stadium. I get so fucking bored. Watching it on TV puts me to sleep. The only sport that I enjoy watching is soccer, and even that is conditional.
I don't know, you've been watching some NBA playoffs with me.
That's different, and even that I get annoyed and wander away.
But I hear you and I understand what you're saying about baseball, and that's part of what I love about it. Because at times it's a chess match. It's like watching chess boxing. It's a very cerebral game, and then eventually someone will throw a punch. like metaphorically in like there's a home run or a big outplay, or literally in a pitcher hitting a batter and then like the base is clear or the bench is clear and everyone just starts throwing like elbows and stuff. It's a crazy game. But I also grew up with it. My dad played. He never like played professionally, but he was decent.
He was a scab one year though.
He was not a scab. He participated in like a Phillies fantasy week one year, and then they invited him to like an invitational tournament to represent the Phillies. And I believe one of the years was a strike year. The story's been told many times in my family, many ways. But I do like to say that my dad was a scab. But no, he's like, there were pictures on my wall growing up of him hitting off a major league pitcher. And so I grew up, I knew the 93 Phillies before I even knew what basketball was. So yeah, baseball's in my blood. I love the sport.
So I'm sorry, I'm going to put you on blast a little bit here.
Oh no.
Is Annie's family really religious in the movie?
Maybe? So I didn't watch this last night like I had thought I would have when we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to think if I'm conflating some things in regards to religious families. I don't recall. I can't say I recall.
So Annie's mother specifically is really, really religious, and that was one of the few few quotes that I grabbed. Okay. So this is a quote from it didn't grab the page number. This is later in the book. The kind of people I absolutely cannot tolerate are those like Annie's mother who never let you forget they are religious. It seems to me that a truly religious person would let his life be example enough, would not let his religion interfere with being a human being, and would not be so insecure as to have to fawn publicly before his gods. My mother-in-law can and does work the Lord into every conversation, whether it concerns coffee prices, Karen's cat, or the weather. The understatement of the year would be to say we do not like each other.
Oh, gee, yeah, I don't know people from my upbringing like that. No, I do not. And yes, I do believe she's in the movie, but only for like a scene or two.
Okay, so I think it's fascinating that he has this kind of, I don't want to say intolerance, but because I think what he's saying is justified and correct.
Yeah.
And it's a common complaint about evangelical Christianity. But I also think it's fascinating because he kind of doesn't see that he's the exact same way about baseball. Like, what you pointed out earlier, where Karen is like, oh, she calls it a lawn, even though he's been telling her this day in and day out for months. Not everyone loves baseball the way you do.
Yeah. It would be like my dad reading me the entire Bible and then, oh, so what, was that Jeebus guy important? It's the equivalent of that. Yeah, no, I get it.
And it's just kind of like, for someone who is so ready to point out, like, oh yeah, I know I know I come off as a little bit crazy, but I have this divine mission. It's interesting, because there's also this whole other, one of the arcs that was completely cut from the movie. I think for time, it would probably make sense for it to be time.
Pacing.
There is the oldest living Chicago Cub, which is a guy named Kid Sissons, he says was his nickname, Eddie Sissons. In the book, he's actually the person that the family rents the farm from, or purchased the farm from. And basically he introduces himself to Ray and is like, I'm the oldest living Chicago Cub. I played in 1905 for the Cubs at Wrigley Field. And Ray, being a person who understands baseball history, is like, Wrigley Field wasn't built yet. Is he just forgetting or what? I'm going to look him up. And then he looks him up and finds out he's a fraud. He never actually played for the Cubs. But he's just like, you know what? I'm going to let this guy have his, like, fantasy. And he has a scene towards the end of like right before the epilogue, where he literally gives a sermon. Except anywhere you would expect to find the word God or Jesus or hell is the word baseball.
Yeah.
And it really feels like the author's kind of trying to draw these two together and point out, like, everyone has their God, whether that God is God or baseball.
No, that's fair. Yeah, there's a similar monologue at the end with Terrence Mann. Gives a rousing speech about how, like, everyone loves baseball, and it's like the soul of America is in baseball.
I believe Salinger has that same speech, or a similar version of that speech.
Yeah. Which, I mean, is that really wrong? I know you didn't grow up with the sport, but it's still, like, in the soul of America.
Yeah, I feel like if you had to pick a sport that identifies America, most people are going to go baseball.
Even though, like, football is America's sport nowadays, or basketball even.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I mean, how many metaphors do we use that are baseball metaphors that don't mean baseball things anymore? Like brainstorming session at work, and you say something stupid that's a swing and a miss. 3 strikes and you're out, you know? We went to second base last night. There's
really
baseball metaphors, and so it's permeated, like, the language at this point.
Now I'm just thinking of that XKCD comic where he has the whole updated base slang.
Oh, like shortstop is one of them. Yeah. There's like a caught in a pickle. Caught in a pickle. That's a baseball term. Although I don't know if that slang predates its use in baseball or if it originated in baseball. I don't know. I think the wave started at baseball.
Probably.
I know it started in San Diego. I can't remember if it was baseball or American football. The world got it at the World Cup in '86, so they call it the Mexican wave. But we know its true origins, except for the parts I don't remember.
It's like that Norwegian slow clap.
Oh, yeah, the Icelandic slow clap.
That's what it is.
Every football team stole after the 2016 Euros.
This is cool. It's ours now.
It's really cool. We don't have the organization that Iceland has.
Well, there are a lot fewer people, and they're all related.
Exactly. They all know each other. They have that connection.
Is it Iceland that has the cousin thing?
Mm-hmm. I think they have an app that, like, you check with your future romantic partner just to make sure you're not too close in a relation. You're gonna be related. You just don't want it to be too close.
So, getting back to the topic of ghosts.
Oh yeah, ghosts. Wait, there are ghosts in this movie?
I am going to throw the microphone at you. So, obviously the most important ghosts are the baseball ghosts.
Are there any non-baseball ghosts?
I mean, his dad is a baseball ghost, but his dad also is kind of touching every part of the narrative.
Gross.
You've got, with J.D. Salinger, the ghosts of things unwritten, unpublished.
That's a metaphorical ghost.
Yeah, the unclear magical realism tourists at the end, but I guess those are still baseball ghosts.
I never read that ending as them being ghosts driving in. I always just saw it as, like, people who also heard the voice that Ray hears. So,
kind of, but also his twin brother, who can't see the field, doesn't hear the cars, or doesn't see the cars, which is why it's like...
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a wrinkle.
Yeah. Like I said, the money is real.
Maybe his twin brother is the ghost as well. Maybe he's the non-baseball ghost, and he's like the ghost of the yuppie he could have ended up being or something.
I mean, I can totally interpret that. I could totally see that as well, because...
based off completely nothing, by the way. The twin brother is not in the movie.
So, the brother, they hadn't seen him for 15 years until he showed up. He basically he tried to pick a fight with their dad and walked out when he lost the fight. And they haven't seen him for 15 years. He shows up in town with the carnival, and his girlfriend partner, Gypsy, and he doesn't even know her real first name. So Ray, when he goes and meets her and tours the exhibit, etc., he actually has a bit where he's like, it'll be our secret, tell me what your first name is. And her first name is Annie.
Am I onto something with my
flippant
remark?
I think you might be, because I'm thinking about it now, and considering how, like, weird and magical realism this book is, I could totally see that being a literal other ghost that is like, this is the life you could have had if you had done these things differently.
If he had done what he alleges his twin brother did at 15 or whatever, 15 years prior, like, that's how his life would have ended up. Yeah. There's something to that. This
story is chock full of haunting and ghosts and choices made or not made.
And spooky, scary skeletons that send shivers down your spine.
So speaking of skeletons, one of the things that they do is they actually bury Eddie Sissons on the field when he dies. In the dream field.
It's gonna, like, as his body decomposes, the ground's gonna sag there. It's an uneven playing surface.
He gets buried in left field, and, like, Ray's heart breaks a little bit because that was, like, the first part of the field that he made. And Shoeless Joe Jackson looks at him and is just like, I've played on worse.
Yeah, actually, probably. They didn't have modern groundskeeping in 1919.
So the most important ghost, of course, is his father. And even in the book, his father is kind of an afterthought. It really feels like it's more him coming to terms with himself and his decisions.
Yeah.
And only once he does that can he approach his father.
Yeah, he more or less needs to... Because it's how it happens in the movie as well. As the ghosts accumulate in the movie, it starts with just Joe. Then it's the 8 men out. And then there's, like, 20 out there. The 8 men out were all of the outfield players and a pitcher, I guess, except for the catcher. And Ray's dad is the catcher. And he kind of slots right into that original team, but it's never, like, focused on until the end when he takes off the mask and he's like, oh, shit, that's my dad. But he doesn't have that moment, even though he's present, until he has a conversation with Terrence Mann on the drive back to Iowa, where he talks about how his dad used to basically over-practice him, and he sucked the joy out of playing baseball because he was pressured into going as far as he could with it when he was too young, and he became mature, and he didn't see the game in it anymore. And his regret is that he didn't just have one more catch with his dad. And that's why that ending is just, hey, Dad, can we have a catch? And every grown man with father issues cries. Because we all have regrets regarding our fathers. And I can still smell the grass and hear the crickets and see the fireflies in the field as the sun is going down in rural Pennsylvania. And I'm just having a catch with my dad until we can't see the ball anymore.
I remember.
Hypothetically.
I remember the last time I played catch with my dad. He hit me in the knee with the ball and I cried.
I think I was in college the last time I had a throw. It would have been not just my dad and I. There would have been other people there. And I know I was mocked for the way I released the ball. And I kind of stopped playing baseball after that.
Your family making one offhand joke that ruined something for you?
Oh, it wasn't
Never.
even family. It was someone I went to school with. Yeah. But I mean, I was no athlete. I was like, the reason people from my school were there was because I was on a singing tour. So, yeah, it didn't really like hurt. It was just like, yeah, I'm not a baseball player. Why do I even waste my time?
So it's nothing so dramatic. It's basically just growing up and drifting apart and not keeping in touch the way you should, and just kind of regretting that lost connection between him and his father. Because he played baseball as well, but he talks about how He was terrible at fielding, but he was a really good hitter, which is why they always kept him on the team.
Yep.
So he's like, but it was before designated hitters.
Yeah, that's when you used to stick the guy out in left field because no one's going to hit the ball to left field.
He literally said, and you throw him out in left field because he can't fucking up there.
That's what I'm talking about with, like, baseball mythology and history is, like, and that's eventually maybe we'll do Moneyball. I don't want to make you read Moneyball, though. But Moneyball was such a change in the sport when it happened because somebody just started looking at the numbers. Because baseball always kept track of numbers. We know the batting average of players that died in the 1860s. Like, that kind of record keeping exists in baseball, but nobody really quite looked at the numbers the same way as, I almost said, like, Billy Blank, but that's the Tybo guy. What's his name? The Moneyball guy.
I don't know. I don't know. I know what you're talking about, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Billy Bean. I knew it was an alliterative name, but like the way he changed it was like looking at different kinds of statistics to try and take players that were cheap because they weren't big sluggers, but could still manufacture runs in an easy way. And it kind of worked and kind of didn't. Like, they went to the playoffs, but they didn't win anything. But it kind of changed how the sport's managed now.
I remember early in our relationship, we were at your house watching sports because you somehow hid the fact that you were a sports person from me.
And you didn't hide any of your gremlin tendencies from me.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no gremlin tendencies.
You took off your bra during this recording and thought I wouldn't notice.
You were making eye contact with me while I did it.
Thought they wouldn't notice.
They wouldn't have if you hadn't brought it up.
Well.
So I remember there was like a screen that popped up and it was the box and there were like 37 numbers and like diagrams and pictures. And I was just like, what am I even looking at? And you were like, oh yeah, baseball is just like all these statistics. And you were like pointing out which ones were which and what they were tied to and what they were showing.
Yep.
And I'm just like, what?
And it's gotten worse since then in the StatCast era, when they have like cameras that sense the ball movement. So now people are looking at like the speed of the rotation of the ball on a pitch and the launch angle and launch velocity of a hit and all this crazy. I grew up on RBIs and batting average. But like I was saying about like put him in left field, that was just what you did. It was a superstitious element, even though we kept all those stats for 150 years.
Nobody bothered to look at them.
There was nobody bothered to analyze them that deeply because it didn't matter, because there was always that superstitious element to baseball as well. Like rally caps, like it's still a part of baseball.
Truly what makes it America's sport.
Oh, yeah.
The superstitions.
Oh my god, yeah. There's so many superstitions in baseball. Like I can't even name them. You're not allowed to cry. As we learned from...
There's no crying in baseball.
As the legendary manager Jimmy Dugan used to say.
Why isn't that one based on a book?
I'm so mad because I would love to cover that on here. League of Their Own is so good. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Put him in left field is like just is as part of baseball as, you know, sliding into first. Wait, you're never sliding into first. What am I saying? If you're sliding into first, you're doing something wrong.
You tripped. It's what's happening.
Oopsied. But yeah. God, I don't want to watch baseball.
Ugh, please don't.
If only T-Mobile gave me access to MLB TV, meaning every baseball game all season for free.
I will watch for Bryce Harper's shoes.
So... Fair.
I will watch and I will wait for Gritty to appear.
Gritty is not in baseball.
I know.
I have met the Philly Fanatic, though.
More than once?
Well, like, my mom always tells a story about how the Fanatic kissed her belly when I was in utero.
That's why there's something wrong with you.
It's where it started, man. That's where it started. And of course, my dad was taking my mom to baseball games. And you've seen me watch sports. I always used to think I got it from my dad until she was here last summer and we were watching a game, and I absolutely get it from my mom.
Yes, 100% you get it from your mom.
I love watching sports with that lady. It's a lot of fun. She gets so salty. It's just such like kind Christian anger. Like she's doing her cross stitch and just getting grumpy as as the boys are letting her down
faster.
again. It's so much fun. What the fuck was I saying?
I'm so sorry I distracted you.
Oh no, I met him when I was working at that pool. A company catered like a big event, like 500 people on the grounds. So my job that day was empty the trash cans when they got full, which was like every 15 minutes. And the snack bar I ran was also where the Fanatic would cool down. And I got to see him head off. He gave me a little foam baseball and said, "Stay in school." And I'm like, "I'm going to school for theater. I'm going to be just like you when I grow up." Like a fucking child would. And now I'm here with my podcast.
So I don't know if I've ever told you this, but York got a minor league team right before I moved out here.
No shit.
Yeah, well, it wasn't right before I got out here. I think it was like at some point late in college, late in high school for me. It's the York Revolution.
Oh, my parents have been to their games.
Yeah.
They hit every minor league ballpark in Pennsylvania over the years. Like, as a goal that they succeeded.
Yeah. I just remember going, my mom's company paid for everybody's ticket, and they paid for like a box. So we all got to go and see. And like, that's why I love minor league. Like, we went to the
would go see
Fightins.
the Reading Fightins all the time. They were the Reading Phillies still then.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, our Phils. I did a commercial for them that one time.
You did.
But no, we used to go and we would get those left field seats with the buffet and just see how many burgers we could house over the course of the 7 innings they'd serve food. Oh, it was a great time.
Didn't we go to one out here too that was like in the middle of the Lake Elsinore?
The Lake Elsinore Storm?
Yeah.
We went on like Taco Tuesday. They had a great ballpark. It was a great venue. The tacos were great.
Yeah.
It was like 2 hours away and we didn't realize it. There's another team in Rancho Cucamonga, but my parents went when I was at work. So I didn't go see them. We should go sometime though. If we're ever out there for like a half day reason, we should do it on a day when we can also see a game.
That'd be cool.
Way better. I'd rather do that than Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, I've lived here for 10 years. When I moved here, I was less than a mile from the stadium, and I've never been.
Yeah, you're not missing anything.
Apparently, I'm missing some really good food that they just brought out.
You're missing the ghosts of all the people buried under that thing.
Oh,
Listen to our Roger Rabbit episode for more details on that. Oh, we're getting on a tangent.
Yup. What were we talking about? Ghosts?
Ghosts,
Daddy
probably.
issues?
Forgiving yourself before you can forgive your parent who you're estranged from. I think that's a core.
Yeah, it really is just like a book about accepting yourself and accepting the mistakes and decisions you make.
Yeah. And learning to live without regret.
Yeah.
But also with the hope that when you die, you can then, go to a baseball field in Iowa and, live your dreams out there. You want to talk about the adaptation a little bit?
Yeah.
Let's get into some deets. Some numbers directed by Phil Alden Robinson, who also directed Sneakers.
Oh, hey!
That's a great little heist movie. And The Sum of All Fears, which is based on a book.
Oh, good.
It was written by Phil Alden Robinson, who also wrote such classics as Rhinestone and Ghost Dad.
What is it with him and ghost dads?
I know, the Sum of All the Fears was just his dad as a ghost. It's... Ray was played by Kevin Costner, who was also in The Untouchables, JFK, Waterworld. I couldn't remember who played him before I watched it. I refer to him as that guy who's just a dad.
Yes, you did.
Annie is played by Amy Madigan, who was in Uncle Buck and Gone Baby Gone. Karen was played by Gabby Hoffman, who also did Uncle Buck.
Yes. Yeah.
She has since... I think Amy Madigan didn't play her mom in that, though. She played, Buck's girlfriend, if I recall.
You're right, yeah.
But Gabby Hoffman took some time off. A brief Where Are They Now? She took some time off from acting. I think she wound up, living with a dude in Italy in her 20s. But she has since come back into the business. She's more recently been on Girls and Winning Time, the Lakers TV show that just got canceled.
Oh, okay.
So she's still around. Terrence Mann was played by James Earl Jones. You know, Dr. Strangelove, The Sandlot, The Lion King.
Dr. Strangelove?
His first film role was Stanley Kubrick's Dr. Strangelove.
Oh, he's on the
bomber.
plane.
Yeah. You can't miss him though, because as soon as he opens his mouth, is that fucking James Earl Jones?
Yeah.
You can't hide that voice. Oh, I just love that like he's done like two seminal baseball movies, Field of Dreams and Sandlot. Actually, was it Kevin Costner? I think had just done Bull Durham as well, which is another like seminal baseball movie.
Actually, slight tangent. The banning books thing.
Yeah.
I think I know where it came from in the script, because there's a conversation that Salinger and Ray have on the way back to on the way to pick up Moonlight Graham, where they basically are having a conversation. She's like, "Aren't you mad that like your books get banned?" And he's like, "Any publicity is good publicity."
Whoa.
And he's well, doesn't it upset you that like your books get banned? He's like, "Which book?" Catcher in the Rye. Oh, they're still banning that one? Like that kind of exchange. I could see that getting...
I think that exchange still happens. Because like when he introduces himself to Terrence Mann, there's actually a great scene. I don't know if this is in the book, when he like kidnaps him from his apartment. Let's call it what it is. And Mann keeps like using physical force to chase him out. And at one point he realizes like, oh, you read my stuff. You're from the 60s. This is the future. You don't belong here. And he sprays him with like bug spray. It's hysterical. James Earl Jones is a treat in this movie. He really is.
So that scene is basically like Ray is pretending to have a gun. He actually has a gun. It's just in the trunk of his car.
Oh.
But he is pretending to have a gun, and Salinger comes with him because he's like, is this guy gonna shoot me?
Oh, he does the pretend, like he does the fingers in the pocket thing. And Mann is like, you don't have a gun, and grabs a crowbar and backs him up. Like Ray trips and falls into some stuff, and his hand comes out of his pocket. And Terrence winds up, he's like, you can't, you're a pacifist. Damn it, you're right. It's a great bit. It's a great bit of comedy. I did forget to mention that when Ray is giving his tragic backstory to Terrence Mann,
exposition.
When he's explaining like the rift between him and his father, Terrence asks him, "What was it that made you really quit?" And he says, "I read your book." And it also like ties that fictional author even more tightly into the narrative than I feel it would have been with J.D. Salinger. Mm-hmm. Like there's like a more of an emotional connection there.
The reason that it is Salinger in the book is that when he was a kid, Ray read an interview with him where he said that he had always wanted to play at the Polo Grounds, but they tore it down in '64.
Yeah. I would have loved to have seen a game at the Polo Grounds. This is going to be hard to explain to a podcast audience, but if you picture a baseball diamond in your head, it has a very specific shape, right?
Yeah.
You've got the right angle at the bottom where home plate is. The foul lines go straight up, and then it's an oval, generally, or not an oval, but like generally like just a round shape at the top where the outfield fence is. And outfield fences will have some angles, a little bit of character for each venue. But for the most part, there's that distinct shape.
Was the Polo Grounds a circle?
The Polo Grounds, if I recall correctly, I'm looking for an image. So I had a book when I was a kid of, it was my dad's book, but I flipped through it a lot, and it was like historical baseball fields.
Of course it was.
And this diagram is in there. And I'm going to show you. On this side of the diagram is home plate. That's the outfield.
It looks like a basketball court.
It does, right? So the outfield of the Polo Grounds has instead of just being like a rounded bit, it's like it's like a long rectangle with the corners rounded, but dead center field is an extra rectangle of distance to the outfield fence. It's so hard to explain without a picture. But it's like a fascinating like shape, and it's a very unique baseball field. I would love to see a game there because center field is like 500 feet for a home run, when center field nowadays is like 419 in a lot of places, 450 depending on where you are. Just like this crazy weird wall back there. It's like a cave. I want to see a game there. But of course they tore it down in 64 like you said. So, sorry, I tangented from your tangent from me reading a cast list.
We should probably go back to the cast list.
Shoeless Joe Jackson is played by Ray Liotta of Goodfellas, future episode of the pod, Hannibal.
We already did Hannibal.
No, we did The Silence of the Lambs.
Ah!
Evil brother-in-law Mark is played by Timothy Busfield, who was also in Quiz Show and The West Wing.
He was in Quiz Show?
He was in Quiz Show. Another great movie.
With other friend of the pod, Carrie Ellis.
Yes. The real Mark reached out to me. He actually happened to watch Field of Dreams the same night I did. And he said, yo, this brother-in-law character would be played by Seth Green if they cast this now.
Oh my god, he's right.
He's so right. That's a Seth Green motherfucker.
Yeah.
Old Archie Graham, Dr. Graham, was played by Burt Lancaster.
In his final film role.
Film role. He is an Oscar winner for Elmer Gantry. He was also in From Here to Eternity. Young Archie Graham was played by Frank Whaley, who was also in Pulp Fiction and The Doors. And Papa John, his name's not Papa John, John, his father, is played by Dwyer Brown, who is also in Gettysburg and The Cutting Edge, which is the figure skating movie with the ice hockey player.
Is that the like Disney figure skating one?
You're thinking of like Go for Gold or something, aren't you?
Probably. The one where the girl is like really insufferable and no one will partner with her.
Oh, no, that's the movie, Cutting Edge.
Okay.
Yeah. But there was like a different Disney figure skating movie in like the 90s to aughts. And Cutting Edge also had like 5 sequels. But the original one, the good one. The like sleeper for me. I love that movie. Like you said, final film of both Burt Lancaster and Anne Seymour. She plays the librarian in Chisholm, Minnesota.
Yeah. She might be the mayor as well in the book.
Yeah,
she's like such a small town.
Something, yeah. I do love that scene because like everyone in that town knew that guy.
Yeah.
That's that small town Americana bullshit.
Yeah.
Which this is an American ass movie about America's pastime.
And it's, even though there is a scene that takes place in Boston, very briefly, it's mostly about how traffic is terrible.
Like, this is as pro-America as shit gets. And W.P. Kinsella, I believe, is Canadian.
He is Canadian.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude? Are we that obvious?
It is deeply, deeply pro-Iowa.
Yeah, like the Iowa Tourism Board had to have like put money into this movie.
The book is pro-Iowa. His whole thing is that he fell in love with Iowa before he fell in love with Annie.
Well, like I said, that doesn't happen in the movie, so shut up. That's why I said the movie, not the book. But I mean, like, to this day, the legacy of Field of Dreams has an impact on Iowa and its economy because the owner of the farm kept the setup, kept the field built.
When you recognize a good opportunity.
And here's the thing. Never charged admission. They just had a little souvenir stop.
Oh.
And that's how they made money off the 2 acres of land that they sacrificed in their cornfield.
That's kind of sweet.
Yeah. Until, like, I think it was 2011. Who bought it? Someone bought it.
Someone that sucks, probably.
No, someone in sports bought it.
Oh.
And I can't remember who. But, they eventually built an actual major league ballpark right next to the Field of Dreams field. So the original one from the movie still stands, but twice now, in 2021 and 2022, they've played games at that major league ballpark next to the set. And I believe the first one, the Yankees won with a walk-off homer in the 9th inning or something. Of course they
did. It's the fucking Yankees.
Well, they were playing the White Sox.
The heroes of this movie.
And then the other game, I think it was the Reds, and I want to say the Cubs, and I think the Cubs won 4-2.
I had to win eventually.
Yeah. Well, they won the World Series in the last, 10 years.
How long was it before that?
Long time. Long time. 110 years. 108 years, I think it was 1908.
Hey, at least the Phillies aren't that bad.
No, we have our two. We've got our two. The Athletics won more in Philadelphia than the Phillies, but Phillies have our two. And I was alive for one of them. What else? Oh, The Voice.
Yes.
In the book, I wanted to ask you this. Is it ever hinted at or revealed who is the voice?
No. He kind of just... He hears it as an announcer from a baseball field.
Oh, so it's Vin Scully.
Yeah, he doesn't ascribe any personality or anything to it. He just hears it the way that you would hear something over the loudspeaker on a baseball field. So it's not a character. The voice is kind of a character in the book, but it's also not.
Yeah. There's a few lines of dialogue right at the end between Ray and Joe Jackson about it, where Ray just says, "It was you," and Joe shakes his head and says, "No, it was you." But that's still ambiguous enough, considering the voice is credited as himself. And to this day, it has not been confirmed who is the voice in the movie. I personally believe it's an amalgamation of Ray Liotta and Kevin Costner.
You think they both said it and then...
They both said it and they did some audio mixing to blend it and make a third voice out of it. W.P. Kinsella said he was told it was Amy Madigan's husband, Ed Harris.
Oh! Just casual Ed Harris?
Just Ed Harris showing up. I couldn't tell listening to it when we rewatched the trailer. So I don't know.
Ed Harris, future episode, The Hours.
Oh, God. Just break my heart. You thought last episode was bad. Wait. Yeah, The Hours is sad, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's mommy issues.
Oh, great. Yeah, great. Great. Love that. This is a funny story from the set. So they shot, I think 1 or 2 days at Fenway Park, the actual Fenway Park for that scene. And, you fill it with local Boston extras.
Oh, no.
Now, who in the late 80s might be floating around the Boston acting scene and want to be an extra at Fenway Park in a movie?
No.
Who would come to your mind, Cody?
I mean, immediately I'm just thinking Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are in the Fenway scene as uncredited extras.
Beautiful.
When Ben Affleck worked on Sum of All Fears, he went to Phil Alden Robinson and said, "Nice working with you again." And Phil said, "What?" Amazing. I love that little story. If only for that button with Sum of All Fears. That's a great...
Sometimes you gotta wait years for the payoff to a joke.
Sometimes you get there. Do you know about the titles? Do you know the story behind that?
I do not, no. I just assumed Shoeless Joe was too generic a title for...
Shoeless Joe evoked images of homeless people. Who's going to see a movie about a homeless person?
Ah.
Right? Whereas the title Field of Dreams tells you what the movie's about. It's a movie about, dreams unfulfilled and set aside and that kind of thing. The producer kind of felt bad about changing the name and approached Kinsella about it. And Kinsella let him know that the original working title of the novel was The Dream Field.
That's okay.
Again, full circle. We joke about the magical realism in the story, but there's like some real magic happening around it, you know, like with the fact that the field is still there and able to be visited for free. Like it's still like you can do that. And the Ben Affleck thing and the title of the thing. There's some magic in this. I don't have any of our favorite.
No menaces.
No on-set menaces. I do have some alternate casts.
Okay.
Dr. Graham. They originally wanted Jimmy Stewart.
Oh.
I think he had like retired. But Jimmy Stewart would have been really interesting if this was his last role, you know?
Jimmy Stewart, like the way Archie Graham is described in the novel, 1,000,000%.
Oh my god, he would have knocked it out of the park.
He's
Speaking of metaphors.
Archie Graham is basically his character from It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh yeah. Ray, Tom Hanks turned the role down.
Yeah, I can see that. Tom Hanks would have been, if he were older. Tom Hanks now would be
a good Archie Graham.
Yeah.
But no, even then, like young Tom, like Burbs era Tom Hanks, he's still young, you know. He's not quite the Tom Hanks we grew up with yet.
Yeah, I feel like he's too round. I don't know how to explain that.
The rest of the list of names is just pretty much any dude who was a leading man in the 80s. So I'm just going to fly through these.
Van Damme.
Everyone but Van Damme. Alec Baldwin, Jeff Bridges, Tom Cruise, Michael Douglas, Richard Dreyfuss, Harrison Ford, Richard Gere, Mel Gibson, Ed Harris, William Hurt, Tommy Lee Jones, Michael Keaton, Christopher Lambert, Michael Nouri, Gary Oldman, Dennis Quaid, Kurt Russell, Patrick Swayze, and Bruce Willis. Anyone out there?
Kurt Russell or Patrick Swayze, I think. None of those other names. Because the way I see this character, there needs to be like a little chip on his shoulder, but it's like a really gentle chip.
My eyes are settling on Michael Keaton.
Keaton's too... Keaton is too mean.
He would play it as if, like, is he crazy? Like, that would be the direction he'd take it. And he would do it super well, but it would change everything about the movie.
Yeah, he's too pointy. Everyone else is too sharp.
Yeah, just
like,
too...
maybe...
Too blunt.
Would this be Fifth Element era Bruce Willis?
No, this is way before. Not way before, but... Yeah, 6 years prior?
I could see that as well. I could see...
This is Die Hard era Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis was like soft and round at that point.
Yeah.
I realize I'm just being very vague in my descriptions of why they're good, but...
Tom Cruise... No,
Tom Cruise is too desperate.
Who was it you said? Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell.
I could also see Dennis Quaid doing pretty well with it.
Oh, yeah. See, Dennis Quaid is just always going to be the dad from Parent Trap to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and
maybe.
he did his baseball movie with The Rookie. Like, so many of them had baseball movies, too. Like, Tom Hanks had a baseball movie. I feel like Tom Cruise played baseball in A Few Good Men. Like...
Yeah, there's too much, like, desperation around Tom Cruise.
I don't think he'd met Xenu yet. Like, he didn't...
But, like, Kurt Russell, I could see, like, playing Iowa farm boy.
Yeah.
Same with Patrick Swayze. And, yeah.
Similarly to Ray, I got a list of fucking names for Annie.
Okay.
All right.
Is Julia Roberts on there?
Too young.
Okay.
She wasn't quite there yet. Karen Allen, Kim Basinger, Jamie Lee Curtis, Gina Davis, Jodie Foster, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, Demi Moore, Michelle Pfeiffer, Meg Ryan, Molly Ringwald, Renee Russo, Susan Sarandon, Ali Sheedy, Madeline Stowe, Emma Thompson, and Sigourney Weaver.
So I'm not gonna lie, you said someone's name early on, and I was just like, Gina Davis. I was just like, Gina Davis.
Yeah.
Obvious. That's the obvious second choice.
But she has her baseball movie.
But it's Gina Davis.
I know. I just love A League of Their Own so much.
It is excellent.
Meg Ryan jumped out to me there. Because this is when Harry Met Sally era Meg Ryan.
Yeah, big fluffy.
Just like...
She's...
fluffy, down to earth. Got a bit of like a spark to her.
See, she's always gonna read to me as neurotic because of that movie that she's in with Alec Baldwin.
Oh, the Prelude to a Kiss?
Yes. Very funny, very weird movie.
Very silly movie.
Also magical realism?
Yeah?
Oh,
jeez. That's loud.
Oops.
Gonna have to edit that out somehow.
Sorry.
So, let's see if I have anything else. I talked about... Oh, when they tried to overturn the Lifetime ban. That was a direct result of this movie and 8 Men Out coming out within, like, 8 months of each other. So all of a sudden the public is super aware of this thing that had happened 80 years prior. 70 years prior.
Was overturning the ban basically like, yeah, they totally took the bribe and did this, but look at the extenuating circumstances?
I think it was more specific to Jackson himself because Jackson never, like, they couldn't prove that he tried to throw any of the games. There were other ones like the pitcher, I think his nickname was Knuckles. He hit a batter in the first at bat of the first game to say the fix is on to the rest of the team. Like, that's something that's documented. And there were numerous errors in fielding and
it's like one of those things where they didn't make this type of error commonly.
Like players who are too good to make that many errors. Like their average errors in the World Series was higher than the rest of their career prior. And things like swinging and missing on like walking pitches that are going to be balls and they know, like, just based on statistics and stuff like that. Like, obnoxiously poor play from everyone except for Joe Jackson.
Oh, okay.
So it was specifically trying to get his overturned, and it didn't fly. Kinsella gave the movie 4 out of 5 stars. He didn't think the character of Mark was villainous enough, and he didn't think that Gabby Hoffman looked enough like Kevin Costner and Amy Madigan's child would look.
So, in the novel, basically he describes Karen as though someone took Annie and put her in a cloning machine that shrinks things. So yes, I don't want to say it's plot important, but I can understand why he would think that.
Yeah, and considering how you've mentioned how he speaks about his own characters, yeah, I can see why he would find that to be important.
And the villainy of Mark, I do understand where he's coming from with that, because they cut out the Eddie Sissons plot, they kind of had to shrink that, because that's tied in with him.
Yeah, he just became more of a generic 80s Wall Street villain.
Which, he's kind of a generic 80s Wall Street villain in the book, too. It's just that there's more specifics to the villainy that he's doing. Like, he's literally describing the reason that he wants this plot of land so bad and why he's all of a sudden pushing them is that they've managed to buy basically everything else in the area for his corporation.
Like, that dude, after he sees the ghosts in the field and leaves town, he finds an orphanage that he can hold hostage until the kids win a dance contest. Like... That's his fucking character.
So, okay. So this is something that's in the book, and it's something that I asked you if I could go on a rant about. So basically, what they do is Ray falls so far behind in his payments that they're going to start foreclosure proceedings. The way that normally works... my references here are I worked in the collections department.
Weed banker.
The way that works is you have to be 120 days past due on your mortgage, and then at that point foreclosure proceedings can start. So what that means, now granted, I'm talking about modern era where there are more protections for the consumer, especially after 2008.
Why, did something happen then?
Yeah, nothing important. But you had to be at least 120 days, which is 4 months, then you could start foreclosure proceedings. And foreclosure proceedings alone, you have another 60 days, because you send out a letter that says you've got 60 days to pay completely current or we're going to add more fees. And then it goes to court. And then basically what they do at court, and that, again, that's another additional time frame for you to collect payments and make payment arrangements until it actually goes to court. Because what happens is when they go to court, basically you're going to go and someone's going to, they basically auction it on the steps of the courthouse. And they're like, who's going to buy this? And usually the lenders are there because they have to be bought off, depending on how many liens are on your property, et cetera, et cetera. But like at that point, you're kind of fucked because you lose any equity that you have in the house, which is what all of the lenders want. So they have initiated foreclosure proceedings. Basically, they've called the mortgage, which means your mortgage is full and due. So at that point, somehow they then go and get a protective order that allows them to demolish things. That's some plot shit.
So you're telling me in real life there isn't going to be like the EPA guy from Ghostbusters showing up at your door with a document and a pen saying, sign or you lose the farm tomorrow?
Correct.
Okay. Movies have not set me up for reality very well.
Yes, this book was written in the 80s, so stuff could have been different back then. And again, there have been...
fewer protections for consumers during Reagan?
What?
No.
Yeah, so that was I was reading through this and I know this intimately because we were actually I was being taught this at work recently. So I was just like, this is not how this works at all. Like, yes, basically once foreclosure starts, the bank can be a huge asshole to you. Like, they can straight up refuse payments. If you're not paying, like, let's say you're 4 months behind and you're not paying current, they can refuse those payments. Mm-hmm. They can make you pay 5 payments at once to bring it current. Most places aren't going to do that
because they want the money.
Yeah, they don't want to have to sell your house unless, you live in a place like Los Angeles that has hundreds of thousands of dollars in equity on your property, and they can get that money if they force you to foreclose and sell. Okay, that's out of my system now.
And this has been Bank Talk with Codie. Don't worry, one of these days we'll do a movie where there's a safe scene. And we'll do safe talk with Billy.
Oh no, you'll just melt down.
Oh,
there is actually a scene where he kicks a lock open because he knows that it's a shitty lock.
Oh, that's like some lockpicking lawyer shit.
It's not a master lock, though.
Shittier? They don't make shittier. We carry master lock products at my work. But not like the padlocks, because no. We sell safes, shit.
Can't you open a master lock with another master lock by just, hitting them together?
Yes. Yes, you can. Whew. I'm not going to say some of the things I know about how easy some safes are to open.
Please don't give information for crimes.
I will not say that there is a certain make and model of safe that if you hold it at waist height and then drop it so that the top edge hits the ground from a height, it'll open.
Neat.
The only other thing I have is that, and this is something I greatly appreciate, since the movie had come out, Phil Robinson has come out and said that he regrets not including black players in the Field of Dreams. Because it wasn't through any fault of their own that they weren't allowed an opportunity to play Major League Baseball. It was racism, pure and simple. And while Major League Baseball has since come out and claimed that the Negro Leagues are now being classified as major leagues of the time, it's still not enough because those players aren't, some of them are, but a lot of those players are no longer alive to be recognized in that same light.
Aren't they doing the thing where everybody wears the blue 42?
Everyone wears 42 as their number one game a year for Jackie Robinson on Jackie Robinson Day. But yeah, entire leagues of incredibly talented baseball players.
Even
that couldn't go up to the best pitchers in the other leagues. And I'm counting both on that.
Even, like, you had that one scene in League of Their Own where it was the black girl that just, like, throws that howler to the... Even if you had, like, a nod like that in the movie.
Yeah, like, just one or two players with a little melanin, you know, would make a difference. I understand he was going for a very specific era of baseball. He was going for, like, specifically the White Sox. There's a few Cubs, there's a few Cardinals, I think there's a few Reds on the field, and one Yankee, and it's his father. But he's going for, like, the classic teams. But, yeah, there was a lot of background baseball happening in that movie. They could have cast anybody, put anybody back there.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that he has since come out and referenced that it's something he could have done, he didn't do it, and he regrets not doing it.
Yeah, considering that, like, looking at the concept of this as, like, the Field of Dreams, where players who were basically done wrong by baseball get to play in a world where they weren't done wrong, it would have been a very interesting statement to have mixed teams.
Yeah.
Because when did they integrate the league?
1947. The what I copied and pasted from Wikipedia or whatever was, quote, the use of black players might have compromised the historical accuracy since no black players were known to have played between 1884, when Fleet and Weldy Walker played for the Toledo Blue Stockings of the American Association, then considered a major league, and 1947, which is when Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. But yeah, like,
the whole point is that you're compromising historical accuracy, though, because, like, the way that he starts, Ray actually, when he's watching the games, he starts keeping track of stats, and he's trying to compare them to actual games from the 1919 season, and he realizes, oh shit, this is like, they don't actually match up. This is as if the Black Sox scandal never happened if they just got to keep playing.
They're playing a new game. So this is the 1920 season we should have had.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, if that's where you're starting with, you could absolutely have done, like, integrated teams.
Yeah. Like,
but
maybe,
it's that thing of, like, you don't know what you don't know, so you don't know. Yeah. Okay, so
I don't know if Joe Jackson playing another year of professional ball would have gotten black players in 20 years ahead of time.
No, I'm just talking about, like, the concept of Field of Dreams. If it's players that have been wronged by their association, you should absolutely, like, you could have absolutely thrown some black players in.
Have him sit down one day and they're playing one of the Negro League teams of that era. Like, you don't even, like, need to integrate them if you're worried about historical accuracy, but have them play. Yeah. Because that's the thing they never got to do. Like I was saying, like, these black players never got to hit off of these major white pitchers, and vice versa. Babe Ruth didn't have to deal with the pitching in the Negro leagues. And it's so easy to say that Babe Ruth is the greatest of all time, but we don't actually know. Because they were so separate, we can't tell based on stats alone how good he actually would have been in modern baseball.
Because there's no way to compare. They were never pitched.
There's no point of interaction that we can use as a basis to decide the actual greatness of some of these players. And it's a great shame on the sport, if you ask me. And I think a lot of modern baseball fans will agree, except the racists. And if you're racist, go fuck yourself.
That is an official podcast stance.
Yes. Racists can die. So I don't have much else to say about the movie.
I don't have much else to say about the book.
Do you recommend it? I feel like the answer is no.
I feel like if you like Catcher in the Rye, I'm gonna put myself on blast a little bit here. I've never read Catcher in the Rye because...
Well, me neither.
Again, if I wanted to listen to men explain things to me, I would just go literally anywhere and look mildly confused.
Dude, all I have to do is sit somewhere silent and my inner monologue does it for me.
You don't count.
Because I keep that shit quiet. Constant media so that I don't hear myself think.
But I feel like this is like a stream of consciousness style novel, the way that Catcher in the Rye is. So I feel like if you enjoyed Catcher in the Rye, you would probably enjoy this. I found it grating. I did finish it eventually. The version I read was 339 pages, so it's not like a crazy amount of time. If you're choosing between this and Ready Player One, please read this.
Oh my god. That is a damning indictment of Ready Player One.
But yeah, these is... If we did a top 10 and bottom 10 of the podcast, then they're fighting for 11th.
Yep. I've seen this movie twice now. This most recent viewing for the pod, I liked it a lot more this time. I think there's a lot
you're
of...
old now.
When at the very beginning, Ray is like, I'm 36 years old, my back, like, spasmed a little bit, and my knees cracked, and I went, oh god, oh no, I relate to this character now. But even in a lot of ways, which I've talked about with the Archie Graham bit, and I dance around that I've got father issues over the years with this podcast. Like, yeah, like, I wouldn't mind playing catch with a 30-year-old version of my dad before he, you know, fucked up. But anyway, I like I said, I love the movie. I thought James Earl Jones was, like, so good in a comedic role. And his chemistry with Kevin Costner was great. I liked the writing. Like, it's schmaltzy and saccharine. But I'm still tearing up at the end when he's playing catch with his dad. Because the performance is really good. Because he tries to, like, not introduce him as his father to his wife and kid. But I think they know. And, like, everyone knows, but no one's saying it. And then at the end, he's finally like, Dad, do you want to have a catch? He's like, yeah, the performance is great. And they have their catch. And then the camera zooms out into that big wide shot. And you see thousands of cars starting to drive in. They actually killed the lights in town and had 1,500 cars driven by people in that town, just sitting on the highway, alternating between their high beams and low beams to make it look like they were moving. And it looks like thousands of cars are about to wreck this farm. It's like Woodstock is coming, but no one's ready. Like,
corn's gonna grow 10 feet high the next year.
It's an inside joke for like 3 people. But yeah, no, I loved the movie. I thought it was great. Obviously not for everybody. It's everyone's dad's favorite baseball movie, but it's everyone's dad's favorite baseball movie for a reason. Like, there's a lot of quality there. So I definitely liked it.
I am glad that you enjoyed it.
Now, how could we make it better? Maybe, considering your bottom 2 have been Ready Player One and Field of Dreams. What if we took the concept of Field of Dreams, of ghosts playing baseball, and the pop culture nostalgia of Ready Player One, and we smooshed them together? Cody, what pop culture ghosts would you want to watch play baseball in your Field of Dreams?
So I have a question.
Yes.
What defines a ghost?
So for me, give me Slimer as catcher. I want nearly headless Nick in center field, so he can distract the batter with his floppy neck, you know?
Not the Bloody Baron?
Give me Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in left field, because you know that dude can slug, and if anyone gets one over there, it'll get stuck in him, and someone can, like, run over and catch it before it hits the ground, right? Like, he's gonna stop a lot of home runs out there and left. Who do you... Are you coming up with anything now, or do you want me to keep riffing?
So, the reason that I asked is because I have one, but I don't know if you would consider it a ghost.
Hit me with it.
Avatar Kyoshi from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Sure.
Specifically her, because she bitch is real tall.
That's it, real tall. The magic powers have nothing to do with it, the bending.
I mean, that's probably also helpful. I'm just trying to see some other ghosts. You know what? Fucking Danny Phantom from Danny Phantom.
Oh, he'll be quick. He'll be quick on the bases.
He will be very quick.
You put him into pinch run if you get like a single or a hit by batter in like the 9th.
Boo? Is that what he's called? King Boo? Boo?
Oh, from Mario.
From Mario.
Here's the problem though. If someone's looking at him, he can't do shit.
That's why you put him to distract the batter.
No, but then the batter like hits it towards him and just stares at him. He can't move to get the ball.
But if you hit the ball, the batter's gonna like run, right?
Yeah, but the batter can like if the batter hits the ball towards King Boo, he can just watch. The bases aren't moving. He can run towards the base, but look at King Boo.
Casper's brothers, uncles.
Oh, Casper's uncles.
Yes. Not Casper. Casper's too nice.
I see them as like benchwarmer guys. They're like Martian Stott on the Phillies daycare. Or Garrett Stubbs, like they've got that energy going. Like they're not gonna play a lot, but they're gonna be good for the clubhouse.
What about oh my god.
We need a pitcher.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Team psychiatrist. Bruce Willis from The Sixth.
Wait, there's ghosts in that movie?
No.
If you're listening to this at home and you're thinking, how dare he not mention the army of ghost Vikings from Lord of the Rings or whatever you're about to mention?
Haunted Mansion!
Or the Hatbox Ghost from Haunted Mansion.
You got the Hatbox Ghost, you got the fucking, not the narrator, but like, is the Hatbox Ghost the narrator?
I don't want to know.
You got the Bride?
So if you're at home wondering why we haven't mentioned your favorite ghost, shoot us an email at soonmajorpod@gmail.com and let us know what ghosts you want to see involved in the baseball team and where you want to see them play.
I don't know enough about positions.
That's fine. You came up with team psychiatrist.
That's a thing, right?
We've got the club mascot is Jack Skellington's dog.
Oh my god. Zero.
Thank you.
Oh god, who's the fucking ghost pirate from SpongeBob?
Davy Jones.
Yes.
He drives the bus. Team bus.
Fruit prevents scurvy. There's like another.
God, we can do this forever.
Okay, we get Patrick Swayze from Ghost. Not Ghost. What is it fucking... Isn't it Ghost?
Yeah. With Demi Moore?
Yes.
Yeah, Patrick Swayze in Ghost.
He's the ghost, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And he, like... There's another ghost in that movie that's, like, he meets on a subway, but no, he possesses Whoopi Goldberg.
Lesbians?
Kind of. I haven't seen Ghost in ages. It's not very good. But before we riff into the night on Ghost Baseball, next week, next episode, next time out, it's real close to Mother's Day. So we thought we just did a baseball movie that's got a nice father-son relationship in it. What if we tackle some mother-daughter relationships?
May is also Asian American and
Pacific Islander Heritage Month?
Islander Heritage Month.
Wow, we're really gonna... I don't want to say kill two birds with one stone because, like, that's a violent...
We're
metaphor.
ticking the diversity checkbox.
We're double checking that box. We are gonna cover the Joy Luck Club.
We're going from daddy issues to mommy issues.
Yes. It'll be fun. Are there any ghosts in that movie?
Oh god, there's so many. I think there is actually one. There's the
what position does it play?
There's the implication of one because of Chinese mythology, Chinese mysticism.
Great.
Yes.
Anyway, check out our socials. Our link tree's in the description below this podcast. linktr.ee/soonmajorpod. Send us emails. Send us your high school mixtapes. Send us your baseball playing ghosts. Send us pictures of your pets. We love to hear from anybody on any platform that we advertise on that link tree about anything. Please talk to us. Let us know you're listening. But until next week, when did we outro? We don't outro. We don't have an outro.
We don't have an outro.
Why am I going into an outro that I don't have? We've never successfully outroed this show.
Mark's gonna be so mad at me for stealing the Hackbox Ghost.
He really is. He's gonna be so mad. He'll come up with something different. He'll come up with some other. He'll do like the pirates from the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Like,
Dead men tell no tales, baby.
Yeah, and we stole that from him. At this point, I'm sure the outro music is playing.
Yeah.
Whoever edits this.
I'm just gonna let you keep riffing.
Cut me off. I can
give you more work.
We're so close to 2 hours. Again. How do we keep doing this? How do we keep fucking doing this?
Yeah,